Look at my forward-facing sonar. Look at the jackhammer. There's my jackhammer sinking to the bottom. You go, just give it a yo-yo, just pop it. Look at that big blob. Pop it, pop the jackhammer.
Oh! Guys, that was nuts. Absolutely nuts. I don't know if you got to look at that. That fish ate it off forward-facing sonar right under the boat. Look at him. That's a tank. Look at the size of that fish. It was... I wasn't sure if that was a bass or not. My gosh. Wow. That is nuts. I just literally dropped it. I was yo-yoing it. He's inhaled that jackhammer. Didn't even hesitate. Stay down. I mean, that's, what's it, 1.5? Look at that fish. Oh, beautiful. Check out, he's got that thing down, China. Beautiful fish. Whew. Oh, that's nuts. That is just absolutely insane. That is just incredible. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Beautiful fish. I think that just shows you, if you're paying attention to everything that's going on around you, including your electronics. I mean, that's a 2.2 kilo. Let's consider that a bonus fish. A combination of paying attention and electronics. Unreal. Time to go. Boom. Very good, boys, very good. You know, a jackhammer, a chatterbait, in this case a jackhammer, really is just an incredible bait to catch bass, but to catch better than average. I've caught so many fish, and a lot of other people have caught so many good quality fish on a jackhammer. You know, that fish is 2.2 kilos. It's winter. I'm fishing 3 foot of water. There's fish roaming around already, you know, in the shallows, and I'm trying to give them something that's going to create a lot of noise, a lot of distraction, just a bit of chaos. And I've only been fishing, I'd say 5 minutes, and I rolled down the bank, you know, keeping an eye on my electronics in that case, and just the most incredible thing happened. Saw this big blob. There was actually 2 of them on the screen, and hoping we can see it in the footage. I don't know yet. Obviously, this all just happened right now. And wound it up, and I thought, no, that could be a bass, and I dropped it in there, let it go straight down to the bottom, and I just yo-yoed it up and down, and I watched the blob just come immediately and just absolutely annihilate it. And you saw how he inhaled that whole bait. So that gives me a lot of confidence, because normally it's a chunk and wind. You know, you cast it out, you wind it back, try and get that speed of retrieve right. So that was really, I would consider that a bonus fish, and just paying attention to my surroundings, paying attention to my electronics, and just making that cast, not making the assumption, oh no, that must be a carp or something to that effect. It was unreal. It just turned on it immediately. You know, as I lifted it up, it's got an incredible vibration, does this jackhammer. Fish turned around, just went and ate it. So that was absolutely incredible. And in terms of line, which I'm going to retie now because there's a nick in this one. In terms of line, and well, let's deal with line first. So I'm fishing 17-pound fluorocarbon at this stage, and that's predominantly because I'm fishing not excessively heavy cover. I'll never go less than 17. That's not my cup of tea. So a Seaguar Tatsu or an Abrazix would be a good abrasion resistant line. So 17-pound fluorocarbon is where I'm at, where I'm fishing sort of edges. I'm fishing a hyacinth edge now. There's some stumps on the shoreline. That'll serve me well. But if I'm getting into the thick stuff, I'll probably actually switch to braid. Anyone that's watched some of my previous videos fishing jackhammers would have seen I'll throw it on 30-pound braid, and there were stages at Albert Falls where there were a lot of big fish in the 4 kilo range around, and then I went up to a 55-pound braid, if you can believe that. So if I can get away with 17-pound fluorocarbon, even a 20-pound fluorocarbon, some guys fish it on, I think that's a winning combination. I think with something like a jackhammer, there's quite a bit of weight to it as well. You don't really need to nurse that fish too much. You don't really need him turning around on you. You can put quite a bit of pressure on him and bring him to the boat. So rod wise for my jackhammers, there's 2 rods that I actually use, and that's just to have a better presentation. So I'm fishing the Verto series of rods. Okay, and this is a 7-foot MH, or 7-foot medium heavy action rod. It's an incredible rod. I'll throw spinnerbait on this as well. And what the 7 foot length allows me to do, and that medium heavy action, obviously I set that hook, keep the pressure on the fish, but the length of that 7 foot, so I alternate between a 7 foot and a 7'4". 7'4", also the MH, okay? And I alternate because the 7 foot rod gives me such good accuracy on the casting. And a lot of times, like now for example, I'm up here shallow, there's a tiny breeze, like negligible at the moment. I really want to get that bait into a target zone, so it's accuracy, and then it's also getting that bait into the water where it can just slide into the water. So I don't really want to splash this into calm, shallow water. I want to be able to present the bait very accurately. We've got a lot of hyacinth floating around here. There's stumps and things like that. So I want to be able to cast that in an absolutely specific target. Like, if I was throwing it into a coffee cup, I need to be that sort of accurate. That's what I'm looking for. If there's a tiny shade pocket, I want to get it up in that. The 7 foot rod helps me to be super accurate and get that bait in super, super quiet. So that's why I go with the 7 foot. That's why I've got it on now. If I'm just covering water and burning banks, and length of cast then becomes very important to cover that water, I go up to the 7'4" medium heavy. So that'll hook you up. Pesco have got a Pesco Pro Series spinnerbait chatterbait rod. That is a phenomenal rod. I've caught a lot of fish on that, had awesome feedback. It's been around for years. And that's also another phenomenal option. So 7 foot medium heavy, 7'4" medium heavy, anything around like that. Those sort of parameters is going to get you sorted. Some guys will use a slow gear ratio reel. When I say slow, like something like 7 or less, I prefer to be able to catch up with that fish in that circumstance as well there. Watch the fish eat it. There's a flick in the line. I want to take up the line as quickly as possible. So I'm in the 8 gear ratio category. That's how I roll. I just control my retrieve speed. So that's just the basics. Rod, reel, line, jackhammer, and that's that. For those of you that are interested in the trailer that I've got on here, that is a Z-Man Chatter Shad. Comes in 2 different sizes, so that's something that you can check out. Very nice.